At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right, everybody, welcome to Hogville Net post-game show. Really excited about this one. Arkansas gets the dub. There we go. There's our faces. Hope you guys, hope you enjoyed that one. For those of you who watched this thing at home, it was awfully cold. The walk home at halftime was really cold, Otis. Arkansas gets the dub, my man. They get the dub. Fans should be happy.
They did. Yeah, they got it. They're bowl eligible. Now where will they go? I don't know, but they've got a date with Missouri before they worry about where they're going on a bowl game. But that was huge to get the win tonight. I thought they would. Ole Miss played a soft schedule earlier in the season, and they had a better record than their team was. But they're a good team, but they were overrated some. But Arkansas played a good game till the fourth quarter, and then it kind of got away from them. But when you're up 42-6, it's kind of easy to let the game slip away a little bit. You know, you lose your intensity, and that's only natural.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they definitely let go of that's not right. They didn't let go of the rope. They just they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Go to hogville.net for free content, 100% free. Also, shout out to our sponsor, the Direct Service Overhead, who sponsors everything that I do here on Hogville. Find their read here. Good grief. I've only done it for over a year. Here we go. Same-day services, emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year. Free estimates, quality parts, and affordable outcomes. That's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Rocket Sanders today, holy crap, 200 yards again. He had 200 yards before he even hit 20 carries, which I think is what he ended up with.
Yeah, the coaches challenged him. Coach Pittman challenged the running backs, not just Rocket, but the running backs. And obviously he responded. I think they all did, but Rocket really responded. He took it to heart and went out here and dominated the game when it was in doubt. And then it was the second play of the second half. I was going to say the first play of the second half, but it was the second play. He took it to the house, and that kind of iced it. It got 42-6 at that point. So you knew pretty much the game was, you knew how it was going to end. You knew Arkansas was going to be bowl eligible. I think that's huge, Ty, because Missouri was winning tonight. I know they won. You didn't want to go up there 5-6 and then be 5-6 and only one team going to a bowl. You didn't want to do that on a Friday on a short week. You've got a short week. Arkansas played a night game, as did Missouri. So that equals out. And then they play Friday. So all that's equal. At least Missouri, it's only a few hours, but if Missouri to play like the 11 a.m. kickoff or Arkansas they would have had a little bit of an advantage because of the short week. People don't realize, but 4, 5, 6 hours can make a difference, at this point of the season, because people talk, is KJ 100% healthy before the game? People were asking me, well, no, nobody is. There's not a player on that field on either team that's 100% healthy in the 11th week of the season, 11th game of the season. Nobody's 100%. Not if they've been playing, maybe some redshirting or somebody, but even going through practice, I don't know if they're 100%.
Yeah, right. Looking around the league, looking around the SEC, of course, Arkansas gets the dub tonight, 42-27. They're bowl eligible. LSU right now is on top of UAB, 34-10. Georgia barely scrapes by Kentucky, 16-6. I think I wrote in our pick'ems, I said, keep an eye on this game. I thought,
yeah, you did.
I thought this would be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I thought that would be a physical game. Although I got so many picks wrong this weekend. Tennessee gets beat 63-38
I didn't see that one, Ty. I did not see that one. I've been talking about how TCU beating, going undefeated and didn't deserve it over Tennessee, but they all got shot out the window tonight because Tennessee took care of that. So now let TCU go if they're good enough to go, let them go.
Spencer Rattler 6 touchdowns tonight. Tennessee's secondary is awful. They're probably one of the worst secondaries in not just the SEC but in the country, and that's the one thing.
That? Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. I think they came into this game ranked like 100 and I think it was 120th in passing yards allowed per game. Really bad. Somehow worse than Arkansas's. A lot of people complaining about the how this game ended for Arkansas. A lot of people kind of not real happy with the way Arkansas let Ole Miss kind of back into this game. Maybe help straighten us out a little bit, Otis. Are people overreacting to that a little bit?
I mean, would those same people have taken a 15-point win before the game? I mean, that's the only thing I'll say to that. Would you have settled for a 15-point win before the game and the outcome never be in doubt? It was never in doubt. They didn't let them back in the game. They took their foot off the gas. I think it's that way you described it, and that's accurate. They didn't let them. There was never any doubt in this game. The only way there would have been any doubt is when it got to be 42-27. If Ole Miss had recovered that onside kick, then it would have been a game. But when they didn't recover those onside kick, especially that last one, if they recover that, it's 42-27. It's a ball game, man. But they didn't recover it. So no, I mean, all I know is if you'd have told me they were going to win by 15 going in, I'd have said take it. And I mean, be honest, everybody would have said the same thing. I mean, when you're worried, when you're griping about the way they win, I guess that's good because people gripe when they lose. But they won the ball game. They went 42. I mean, they won the ball game. So I mean, they're 6-5. They're bowl eligible. I worry more about the Liberty game and the A&M game than I do the way this one ended. I mean, I worry more about the way the Liberty game and the A&M game went. Those are two games they should have lost. And I'm going to tell you, we can say what we want, but if KJ had been able to play against LSU last week, I don't think LSU would have beaten Arkansas. I really don't. I mean, they better think around that KJ didn't play. So, I mean,
Can we put that argument to bed now? Like, and I know it's not a lot of people, but they still do it. They flap their gums on Twitter. Malik Hornsby should have been the guy, or Malik Hornsby this, that, and the other. And the
people
the KJ
say that.
Malik.
When people say that, I consider it and go. I mean, I consider the source and go on. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's it. I mean, you have not watched the games. I mean, that is completely stupid. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I mean, that is completely stupid. Anybody that thinks KJ should not be the quarterback of this team, just outrageous.
Right.
They're not watching. They don't know anything about football if they're saying that. And I've argued with people about that. And there's a former player who got into it with me last week about that, about KJ. I mean, about Malik. And I said any coach that would bench KJ to play Malik should be fired on the spot and probably arrested for impersonating a coach if they put KJ on the bench and play either one of those quarterbacks. It's not just Malik, but either one of them. I mean, KJ's the quarterback. If you, I don't know, man. I can't. I mean, I don't know. I put that argument to rest a long time ago, Ty. I mean,
well, it's good now because it feels like we've kind of been saying that for a while, and now it feels like today really, really, really validated it, even more so than it already was validated. Yet people were still kind of trying to harp on that a little bit.
I'm not even sure that Malik's the number 2 quarterback. I mean, well, you know what was weird about that backup quarterback, dude? When the other kids started at Mississippi State, Malik came off the bench and played well. When Malik started, then the other kid came off the bench and played well. So I guess the if you're the backup quarterback, you want to be third string because you don't want to start the game because you play bad and then the other guy comes into the game, So I guess the moral of the story is be the third string quarterback, not the backup.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you? I know you're up in the booth, and you maybe didn't have the best view. I didn't see it up there. The Ole Miss defender who swung at KJ Jefferson.
He hit him.
Did you get a good look at that at all? Did you think he was trying to hit KJ or going for the ball?
No, he swung at KJ. I mean, he should have been. I don't think he was ejected. He should have been ejected. I mean, maybe he was swinging at the ball. I can't read his mind tie, but it looked like to me he swung at KJ. But even time you take a closed fist and you swing it like that, that should be automatic ejection. I mean, I mean, that should be automatic. I mean, no matter what he says, if he says he was going for the ball, so be it. But when you close your fist and you take a swing like that, that should be automatic.
I personally think he was going for the ball at one angle that I saw, but I only saw one video. But when you cock that hand back and you, like you said, and you swing, that's it, dude. You got to be out. That is unexcusable or inexcusable.
Exactly. You can't do that. I mean, and I didn't even think about that. He may have been going for the ball tie, but to me, that's not. I mean, it's one thing to swat at the ball and come down on the ball. You come down with an open hand and try to strip. That's football.
Yeah.
But when you close that fist and you swing it like that, man,
you cock it back.
I mean, that to me is just that should be an automatic ejection and a 15-yard penalty. There's no place for that.
Who stood out to you on defense that maybe we're not talking enough about? I'm seeing people just bragging all about Quincy McAdoo tonight. Give us your thoughts there.
Good plays. Quincy made some really good plays. I thought Drew Sanders played his normally good game. He had that interception. It seemed like a year ago that in the first half, or was that in the second half, he had that interception. But, it seemed like this game lasted forever, it seemed like. But
it did.
Drew Sanders, Quincy McAdoo. I thought Slusher got beat a couple of times, or once or twice, but he had some plays too. I thought Slusher, good to have him back. He played pretty well. I mean, just to the naked eye, I mean, he flashed something. That's basically what I go by because I don't know. I can't watch every player, so you don't have the benefit in the press box of replays a lot. So I thought Slusher. I noticed he was out there, and that's good. I mean, it wasn't. I thought Nudie got some penalties there. Got 2 penalties on back plays. They took him out and put Malik Chavis in at corner there, but that was late in the game. But I thought, Quincy. If I had to name one, I'd name Quincy, and then I thought Sanders played pretty well. Those defensive linemen were so close a few times on Dart, but they didn't get him. But they were so close, But I thought the defense for 3 quarters, I thought they played really well, Ty. And they let it slip away in the fourth quarter there, but there was a natural letdown. It was 42-6. I can't get, like I said, I would have sold that for a 15-point victory going in. I picked Arkansas to win, but if you'd have told me, here's 15 points, the game's over, I said, let's go to the house. Write the story.
Yeah, T-Dub says somebody talk about McAdoo, blown away by that kid.
He solidified that defense. I mean, it is so much different with him in there than having, look at, and I know they've got a couple of penalties there. I know McLaughlin got 2. I think one of them was holding, maybe one was pass interference. But, since they put McAdoo in, they have really cut out those pass interference calls. They picked up the flag they threw on him tonight. But since he came into the secondary in that second half of the Liberty game, I believe it was, those pass interference till tonight was pretty much gone, And then, like I said, late McLaughlin had that one, but they've cut. I thought Ole Miss really did what Arkansas did earlier in the season. A couple of games, I thought they shot themselves in the foot big time. I mean, they had a couple of touchdowns called back because of penalties. I thought Ole Miss had at one point there, I was looking, they had 11 penalties for 111 yards, and I think they probably got some more, Ty. This was in the fourth quarter. I looked, and they had 11 at that time for 111. Maybe that was how it ended, but they had a lot of penalties, and I know they had 2 touchdowns called back
Yeah.
because of penalties. So Ole Miss did what Arkansas was doing earlier in the season. Last week, Arkansas had 2 penalties, and I know this week they cleaned it up quite a bit. So maybe, just maybe, that they've turned the corner on not so many penalties. They had what was killing them early in the year was, like I said, the pass interference calls. You know, you're out there at BYU, at Mississippi State. I mean, they were just piling up the pass interference calls. But I don't know. I mean, Arkansas won, and to me, that was the main thing. The last thing you want to do is go to Missouri next week at 5-6 because they're 5-6, and you didn't want to go up there having to win that game to go to a bowl game. Now, regardless of what happened, you want to go up there and win. Like I said last week on this show, I said when people saying maybe, or we were talking about maybe somebody would say there's nothing to play for. I said you win this week, talking about Ole Miss, you beat Missouri, you're 7-5. You go to a bowl, and you get to 8-5 tie. You go into recruiting and you go into the offseason feeling good about it with 3-game winning streak, 8-5, another bowl, especially to get to 8-5, you have to win the bowl. And I just think that's what you play for. You play, is 8-5 where you want to be? No, like I said, I look. People can talk about the fourth quarter of this game, how it ended, but I look at the. I look more at the these posts. I look more at the Liberty and the A&M losses than I do worrying about how this game ended. Those are the games I thought Arkansas should have been 7-3 entering this game. I'll give them the LSU game, but I thought A&M and Liberty was, if you had been 7-3, you'd be 8-3 right now going to Missouri tie.
It's a weird year.
If I'd have been born at 7 foot, I'd been Kareem Abdul-Jabbar too. So I mean,
there's always right. There's always the woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, and I get that. Exactly. Arkansas is better than 6-6. They are. If they do find a way to drop against Mizzou, which I think anything's possible, because I do still think Arkansas's defense is mightily suspect, but they did what they need to do through 2.5, 3 quarters to put this thing away. But they're better than 6-6. In fact, I think that 8-4 prediction was probably pretty damn close, if you want my opinion, when they play like they did tonight against what I think is a quality opponent. And by the way, we've been asking for the last several weeks, does Arkansas have a real good quality win? I think finally they do. I know South Carolina took care of business tonight. Good grief. But, Cincinnati flirted. I think they're ranked again. Maybe they actually have 3 quality wins this year. I don't know. But this is definitely your best win. Win or lose next week, next Friday, you're still bowl eligible. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
I got a feeling they may end up either in the Liberty Bowl or the Texas Bowl. That's where I'm thinking. Liberty Bowl, by the way, was here last week. I don't know if you saw them or not, but they were actually here last week. For Malachi Singleton, UCA's trying. I'm not UCA, but UCF. Yep. Gus and them, not UCA. UCF is. They're trying to mess with him, but I think he's still solid to Arkansas. He's going to take an official visit here in December.
How much do you think Kendall plays a role in his – clearly it's his guy. If there is talk, we all know it's hard to keep an OC, good or bad, for 4 years. If Kendall, let's say those South Carolina rumors are true, and he does go to South Carolina to be with Coach Stepp, what are the odds that he sticks with Arkansas?
Well, just have to cross that bridge when he gets to it because, there's going to be coaching changes at all schools. So we'll just have to see. But I think Arkansas's got a plan in place. I think they'll be okay either way, but they need to keep Singleton in the fold. That's, to me, is the key recruit in this class. Good that defensive class is, and it's good, and then receivers and stuff, and the offensive line, and that running back. But Malachi is the key because they're depleted at quarterback. You get past KJ. Malachi to me. Who knows if Hornsby? I look for Hornsby to probably. I don't expect Hornsby to come back next year. He went to transfer portal last year. I was surprised he came back, and then You just, I mean, even if Malachi's solid and stays, you're still just looking at 2 quarterbacks. You still got to figure out another quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to. That's assuming KJ comes back.
and that's a look. Nothing's solidified. Nothing's written in stone as far as KJ coming back.
No, that's not. I mean, people count that as a given. That's not a given. I mean, you could have KJ go to the pros and Malachi flip to UCF, and I mean, you'd be you'd be totally screwed. So I mean, it's just a ongoing situation, man.
What do you think? And I know you're right. It's an ongoing situation. You can only give the best answer that you can, but there is the possibility. There's a certain young man playing for the North Carolina Tar Heels who's from Arkansas, who was recruited by Arkansas. A lot of people seem to think he's going to hit the portal this year. Have you ever had a conversation with him before? Is that you think something that could be a possibility, regardless of what KJ does?
I could see Jacoby. I don't think he'll stay there. I mean, he's beat out by a kid that's young. Usually when that happens, you see kids hit the portal. I mean, when younger kids, and quarterback especially, because they only play one. I tell you, Jacoby Criswell, and then watch Haynes King. Watch Haynes King's situation at A&M. I'm telling you, and I know people says he sucks, but he doesn't. I'm telling you, Jimbo Fisher stinks. I mean,
Jimbo Fisher is to blame there, and I agree.
Haynes King was very good. I thought Haynes King was in the same class with Jacoby. I looked at 3 quarterbacks strong that year. I looked at Chandler Morris, Haynes King, and Jacoby Criswell. And I thought Chandler was the worst of the 3. I'm not going to lie to you. And I really thought Haynes King might be the best of the 3. I mean, but he and Jacoby both. But either one of those quarterbacks, if you could get them to Arkansas, you want to do it. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, Haynes King's not the issue at A&M. He may look like the issue, but he's not. I'm telling you, you put him with a real coach. Jamias Winston made Jimbo Fisher. I'm just telling you.
Oh, well, that sounds like someone dropped some dishes there in the up in the media.
They're closing doors and dropping stuff, and
they're going to kick you out here in a minute, Otis. They're going to tell you get out.
I know. They look at me all the time, man. It's like,
well, I do appreciate you hopping on. I'll let you get out of there. Thanks a lot, Otis. I appreciate your takes and look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah, just it was a good game, and 6-5, and you roll with it, man. Talk to you later, Ty. Thanks for coming tonight.
Absolutely, man. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to wait on Dudley Dawson for just a little bit. Again, don't forget to go over to hogville.net for free content. We're not doing dollar monthly deals and then turn around and hop the score or the cost on you. We're going to keep it free at hogville.net. That's what we do. And good content too. Otis Kirk, Dudley Dawson, they've got you covered with this football stuff. Yeah. After this show too, and make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. After this show, I've had 2 text messages and 2 DMs of people wanting to call in. I mean, the excitement's already there. Tuss Talk with Ty. After this, we're going to have the live call-in show. It's usually like a few minutes right after Hogville, after Dudley Dawson and I chat. Again, we're waiting on Dudley here. Let's read some more chat. Addison, by the way, is he's a classy Ole Miss fan. We've also got a Mississippi State fan that comes through. Niels, golly, I'm blanking on his name. Good people. Have I trash talked your state? Yes. Is it all bad in Mississippi? No. I have trash talked your state. I've driven through it a few times. It's boring. It's stinky. It's swampy. It's, I know that's not the entire state. I actually have a friend that lives in northern part of Mississippi, and it's beautiful country. It's beautiful country up there. Southern part that I've driven through, not so much. But Ole Miss, I don't know what to tell you about Lane Kiffin. I really don't. I did kind of get the vibe that, well, I mean, look, I've been saying it. Anyone who's watched me on Tuss Talk with Ty, who've listened to what I've said here, I've said multiple times, Ole Miss is not a top 10, top 12 program. They're just not. Their early part of their schedule was a joke. I mean, you can't tell me if this was Arkansas's non-con schedule, I'd be saying the exact same thing. The non-con schedule was weak, and Arkansas's was pretty good. Cincinnati, I still think, I don't know. I'd struggle calling that a quality win, but I'll call it a quality win. Cincinnati was a quality win. Liberty was a quality game, although they turned around and lost the next week. You could say that Arkansas played a role in that, right? But Ole Miss had the benefit of playing an absolutely atrocious schedule to start this season off. I mean, their toughest game through the first 6 weeks was Kentucky, if I recall correctly. And Kentucky, what did we say? Oh my gosh, how many of us were like, Kentucky doesn't look like a top 15 team, and they weren't. Just like Arkansas was not a top 10 team. I'm sorry, they weren't. Neither was Ole Miss. And apparently Tennessee might be overrated. I know that Hendon Hooker went down late. Saw you before the game, Ty. Sorry I didn't say hi. Oh, how dare you? Where'd you see me at? I was hanging out at Gate 1 waiting on my moderator from Discord, Austin, to stop by, and then he shoots me we're talking in mod chat in Discord, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming to Gate 1. Oh, actually, no, my wife is leading the pack. Now we're at Gate 10. Oh, now we're going to this concert. Oh, now we're heading back to the stadium. And I'm like, dude, you're killing me. I was kind of walking all around. We did a huff and puff at halftime, and it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Go watch that, especially the last 10 minutes. That was a lot of fun. We crashed a few tailgates. But they were very inviting because that's what Razorback fans do. Criswell would be amazing. Like his potential, also wouldn't mind Haynes King. You see the playmaking ability. Haynes King, Otis, I think, is dead on. The hate of Haynes King is unwarranted. I do think he's better than what we've seen at A&M. There's been a lot of rumors that Haynes King, the time at A&M has maybe come to an end. Here we go. We got Dudley Dawson all bundled up. How you we're going to do it on the field? Or how?
Yeah, I changed my mind. Decided not to wuss out.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, if I would have told you Ole Miss would have over 400 yards rushing and two different running backs with 200 yards, would you have believed Arkansas would win this game so easily?
No, and neither would have Lane Kiffin. That's what he said. But the key thing was Arkansas got 3 turnovers from Ole Miss. He kept talking about getting almost 700 yards total offense. 3 guys going over 200 yards in an SEC game when you include Rocket Sanders as well. But he made it clear that he thought the turnovers were the biggest factor, and also having K.J. Jefferson back and, Arkansas's offense obviously clicking much better with him in the driver's seat.
They actually took care of business, Dudley. They were finishing off drives. They were completing 3rd and longs, or they were converting on 3rd down and long, throwing the ball. Knox early on was very effective in the passing game. I was kind of surprised they went away from him as much as they did. But then the run game started clicking. Once the pass opened up, Dudley, that was it. All of a sudden, they were running with ease.
Yeah, he talked about that a little bit as well. Their defensive backs didn't play well at all in terms of keeping Arkansas's big wide receivers from getting the football. It started out early with Trey Knox, Matt Landers, obviously had some great catches there. And as we said, that running game, we've been critical of the offensive line here lately and should have been because, they weren't playing. But I thought they got back on it, especially in the first half and, at least through the mid part of the third quarter when they got that 42-6 lead.
Yeah, got off to a big lead. What did you make? I kind of talked to Otis about this. What did you make of how things unfolded in the second half for Arkansas? Clearly, they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Ole Miss was clicking on offense. What'd you make of how that game ended up in the fourth?
Well, I think that that's probably a good way to put it. I do think that Arkansas got to the point to where they were playing not to lose, trying to run out the clock. The whole prevent thing instead of being aggressive would have liked for them to have been more aggressive. At the same time, I realized that if you're not going to take KJ out, which they clearly were not going to do, you have to protect him some ways. And, you become one-dimensional if you don't want him to get hit and all that. 6 or one, half a dozen of the other. Those people who want to get on Kendall Browse for this game, take a night off. Arkansas had close to 600 yards total offense. Several calls, including the one right near the end of the half, were very good. It's one of those things where they read the defense, little shovel pass, and got it taken care of. He's been somebody that can be criticized this year on different things, but tonight I think got to give him a break, and everything came back to be. It's much easier to call your offense with a healthy KJ Jefferson, and fortunately tonight, KJ just played to his strengths, didn't try to go Superman, all those kind of things. And other than the getting knocked down and getting the personal foul penalty and being swung at, although I know people are saying the dude was swinging at the ball. Well, the whistle had blown. You'd already been, forward progress had already been stopped. There's no reason to swing. So, and that was one of the things Coach Kiffin talked about as well. He was very disappointed that this late in the year they had something, that even came close to being an issue.
Yeah, Otis touched on this earlier too. They had 12 penalties for 116 yards, almost double Arkansas's yardage on penalties. How much do you think was that crowd? Was that cold? Was that the weather? All of the above?
Well, I'd throw in the hangover from Alabama as well. I don't think they were as sharp
True.
as they could have been, and as much as they wanted to be over that, they lost, everything to play for, in terms of the SEC championship game, a share of the SEC Western Conference crown. It's all out the window now, and I didn't think they showed up to play with the edge that they probably did last week, and that's tough when things go like that for you. But at the same time, Arkansas, had a disappointing loss against LSU last week that they thought that they could have won, and still up and played. Seniors did a great job. Just spent a few minutes talking to Bumper Poole on the way back up here. He was meeting with his dad. This is the last time that he'll play in this stadium. A bunch of seniors that way tonight. And they went out in grand style. And again, you never wanted this season to be just barely getting into a bowl, but they have done that now. I picked 7-5 at the start of the year. If they go win at Missouri, I think that's 7-5. The fans not what the fans wanted, but at the end of the year, the big thing is not necessarily to be in a bowl, but to get those 15 extra practices, December, that give you a jump start with guys like Manny Powell, Jordan Crook, different guys that are, Anthony Brown.
Oh man,
there's some others that will get reps and stuff, and it's kind of a pre-spring practice. Talked with Jaden Johnson and Quincy McAdoo at the Hog Trough thing that we have at the Grove Comedy Club on Thursday night. They talked about how important it was to get those guys some reps. They see a lot of good things from them in practice. There's Leaf from those guys. There'll be some experienced guys coming back. McAdoo, another good night, made a great tackle. And tackles are key out here in especially in cold weather. And I think that he may have found himself a home on that side of the ball. We'll see, because they are they're certainly going to lose Jaden Hasselwood. I think Matt Landers is out the door too. You've got some guys coming in, but it could be a different, as we talked about. There are people speculating that including ESPN, that KJ will go ahead and go pro. I don't know. We'll see. But one thing's for sure, you're going to have to hit the quarterback market. You can't just bring in Malachi Singleton, because we don't know how many of these guys are going to be back. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if you bring in 2 additional quarterbacks in addition to Malachi Singleton, and also having Cade Renfro back, and just going from there. You cannot leave the quarterback room as bare as it was this year, both in terms of just sheer numbers and depth, and also in terms of skill level.
Really quick, and you're right. Yeah, I agree 110%. Like Otis and I, that was something else we talked about the quarterback situation. It's not a given that, even though I don't know that I agree with the assessment, but it's it's not a given that KJ's coming back. It's going to be important how they play the quarterback position this offseason. You got to hope and pray. If you're Sam Pittman, if you're a fan, if whatever, you got to hope and pray KJ comes back because, oh my goodness, it could be messy if he doesn't. It could get ugly pretty quick.
Even if he does come back, we've seen what happens when he's been injured.
Yeah.
He obviously likes to have the ball in his hands, likes contact. So you've got to somehow, as we talked about on Thursday's show, you got to somehow sell this quarterback spot to different guys. In both, you would be the backup when KJ. If KJ comes back, you'd be the starter. If he wasn't, either way, we need you.
Yep.
If you can find a guy with 2 years, that would make it much better.
Yeah, I threw out the name Jacoby Criswell to Otis, and he thought that would be a good one. The kid at A&M who's Haynes King, Otis talked about him, and maybe there's some others. The transfer portal has been a massive game changer, and it could be once again pretty big for Arkansas in the offseason, at least in the quarterback market. Going back to the game really quick, Raheem Sanders, 24 carries. He looked like his old self from 3 games ago. 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, nearly 10 yards a carry. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that both him and KJ, especially in the Liberty game, but maybe even before that, were not healthy as they could be. And they were able to get healthy these last couple of weeks. People have criticized Coach Pittman for not having KJ throw the ball at times during this. I think that, we look back on it, that's been smart. You'll look back on the A&M game. You'll look back on the Liberty game. You could easily be, 8-3 right now. But it doesn't matter. You're 6-5. You are what your record says you are. You can't change anything now.
It's true.
Sure, that my wife, and we've talked about this before, I'm sure my wife would like me to be taller, better looking, richer. But she knew what she got into, and she signed an NIL deal with me, and together, that's it.
As did my wife. She signed an NIL deal. I don't know if she's getting much out of this package or not, but I work with what the good Lord gave me.
There you go. That's what we do. There you go.
All right. I do appreciate you. I'll let you get back, and so I'll let you get to your car and get warmed up. I'm digging. Is that that's your Newport? That's your Newport.
Yep.
Hoodie there.
Yeah. Hey, I won't be into that car till about 1 o'clock. I'm headed back up to my heater in the press box to write a story for Hogville that I heard that it's free.
I think it is free. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is free. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe the video, and go to hogville.net. Free content. Otis Kirk and Dudley Dawson have you completely covered over there. Dudley, you are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, later. Go Hounds.
All right. Okay. Tuss Talk with Ty coming up next. Call-in show. You guys stand by. I will see you over there. Again, that's Tuss Talk with Ty on YouTube. Go over there now. Go ahead. Head on over there. We're going to get this live show up and running, and you guys can call in. This ought to be fun. We'll see you over there.